The most undeserving fighter on UFC 300, Bo Nickal, is taking on Cody Brundage to open up the main card of what's supposed to be the biggest night of fights of all time. Stick around to hear my thoughts and a prediction for this matchup. I'm Wyatt, and this is Fight Society. All right, guys, so I made a video about this last week, how much, or how little, I guess I should say, Bo Nickal deserves to be on the main card of UFC 300. But it is what it is. Dana's gonna Dana. The UFC's gonna UFC. They play favorites. We know what this is. Bo Nickal is getting an incredibly uneven, uncompetitive matchup from a betting standpoint. He is a minus 1350 favorite, and I think Cody Brundage is a plus 1000 underdog. I understand what they're doing here. They're trying to set up Bo Nickal to be this big star, and if he gets a finish early, impressive on this biggest card of all time, they're going to use this as a launching pad for Bo Nickal's career. They're gonna say, "Wow, this future star, future champ got it done so easily on the biggest night of all nights for the UFC." But this is a perfect example of how the UFC plays favorites, which is obvious, but also in the way that legacy is very subjective to how people got matched up. Ronda Rousey fought very, very subpar opponents during her impressive run when she became a superstar. But then when she fought higher level competition, the new age of women's female fighters, Amanda Nunes, Holly Holm, 2 losses and see you later. Same thing with Conor McGregor. He got very, very favorable matchups, skyrocketed him to fame, and he did KO Jose Aldo, which you can't take from him. But then he moves up in weight, beats Eddie Alvarez, who is a very good style matchup for him, and then disappears. But Khabib, bad style matchup for him because he struggles in the grappling realm. He struggles with cardio. Dustin Poirier, bad matchup for him because Conor struggles against southpaws. He gets a comeback win against Cowboy Cerrone, who is aging. He hurt him early. Paddy Pimblett has gotten some very favorable matchups as well. Israel Adesanya has had full training camps. He fought Marvin Vettori. Marvin Vettori got like 6.5 weeks notice or 5 weeks notice for their second fight for a belt. Sean Strickland got like a 6-week camp for their fight in Australia, and Israel Adesanya lost. So my point here is that, especially involving Bo Nickal, that the legacy of a lot of fighters is very subjective to the matchups they get. You do have some guys that have beaten who's who. GSP beat almost everybody. Dustin Poirier's beat almost everybody. Charles Oliveira's beat almost everybody that, that was relevant in their time. However, Bo Nickal, they're setting him up to be the superstar, and I understand. I said in my past video last week about this, about his card placement, that being who he is, he's a different market that the UFC wants to pursue when it comes to fans, because they already have Sean O'Malley, where they're trying to reel in the younger generation, the Nelk fans, the 25 and under, I would say. Whereas Bo Nickal is appealing to the wrestling audience, the amateur college wrestling audience, that is, the middle America, blue collar, and that's his personality. He's around the Joe Rogan type of people. He's into hunting and fishing, married with a kid at a pretty young age. He applies to a completely different fan base than the UFC is trying to pursue with Sean O'Malley. And you can see this. The UFC has people that they pursue for the sake of bringing in fans from certain parts of the world. They brought in a huge part of the Muslim world and their fan base through Khabib being champ and being such a big star. And they're trying to continue that with Islam and Hamzat being so relevant and being put in big fights very quickly. They did it with Israel Adesanya and Volk trying to bring in the Australia-New Zealand audience. They did it with Kamaru Usman, Francis Ngannou, and Izzy, I guess, as well, trying to bring in the African audience. They already have the European audience. Brandon Moreno, Alexa Grasso, trying to bring in the Mexican audience. Cheeto Vera, South American audience. You get my point. The UFC is very strategic, and I don't fault them for it, but they're very strategic in the stars that they build and the matchups that they give these stars that they're trying to build. Bo Nickal he's going to smoke Cody Brundage. That's the point of this fight. It's for him to get an impressive win on the biggest card. It would be very fucking hilarious if Cody Brundage goes out there and like KOs Bo Nickal in the first round, but it's most likely not going to happen. What's most likely going to happen, and what my official prediction is that Bo Nickal is going to go out there and get a first round sub, easy peasy, get out of there, call out a ranked opponent. He'll get a top 15 guy after this, most likely, unless he keeps slow playing his career with easy matchups like this, or if the UFC puts him in these matchups. But there's my official prediction. Bo Nickal, round 1 sub against Cody Brundage, and then moves on to a top 15 opponent. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below. If you like this video and you want more content just like this, click that subscribe button down below. If you want more content from me, go check out my weekly comedy podcast, the Hissyfit podcast, and go check out my personal channel, Wyatt's World. Go watch this suggested video, and I'll see you next time.